Most buyers pay for the salute at the gate, but they aren't actually buying security. They're buying security theater. Take BF Homes Parañaque. It's a 765-hectare residential hub with over 80 entry and exit points. It's a permeable security model. Because of the commercial strips, the gates are open to the public daily. You aren't just paying for security, you're paying for traffic management. Now, let's audit Tahanan village. 40 to 50 hectares. One primary entry, one primary exit. It's a private vault design. In Tahanan, your kids are playing in a cul-de-sac community, not a public thoroughfare. The guards know the faces, the cars, and the patterns. You'll pay a 20 to 25% premium on land value in Tahanan. But as an analyst, I view that as an insurance policy. In the South, you don't just buy a lot, you buy a security philosophy. So, which village is better for your kids' safety? Watch this now. Picture this. You've just finished a long day at the office. You're pulling into your driveway in your brand new SUV. You look over at the front lawn, and you see your 4-year-old daughter riding her bike. She's laughing, she's safe, and for a second, you feel that deep sense of relief. You think,
This is why I paid the premium. This is why I stayed in the South.
but then you look down the street. You see a delivery bike you don't recognize zooming past. Then a car with a faded sticker from 3 years ago cruises by slowly. A little too slowly. Suddenly, that peace of mind starts to feel like a very expensive illusion. Look, we all do this. We buy the gated community dream because we want to believe that once we pass that guardhouse, the rest of the world stays outside. We tell ourselves that the higher the association dues, the safer our kids are. But here's the thing. In the real world of Southern Metro Manila real estate, security is often just a marketing term used to justify a 20% markup on land value. Today we are going to do something different. We aren't looking at the brochures. We aren't listening to the sales talk. We are going to perform a forensic security audit on the two titans of Paranaque, Tahanan Village and BF Homes. Which one actually protects your family, and which one is just security theater? Let's look at the math. My name is Remy from REMClub, and I educate the average Joe, real people, just like you, the intricacies of real estate in Southern Metro Manila. If you're someone who is looking to learn more about real estate, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Now, before we dive into the spreadsheets, I need to clear the air. I love both of these communities. I deal with listings in both every single week. But my job isn't to be a cheerleader for developers. My job is to make sure you aren't making a 50 million peso mistake based on a vibe. The psychology of the gate. Let's start with a psychological reality that most buyers ignore. It's called security theater. In real estate, security theater is the practice of investing in things that make people feel safer without actually doing much to increase safety. Think about those heavy iron gates that take 30 seconds to open, or the guard who salutes you every morning. It feels great, right? It feels elite. But here's what most people don't realize. A guard saluting you doesn't stop a professional thief. A heavy gate doesn't matter if the perimeter wall behind the houses is only 6 feet tall and crumbling. When you're choosing between Tahanan and BF Homes, you aren't just choosing a location. You are choosing a security philosophy. And these two neighborhoods couldn't be more different. The scale problem. BF Homes Parañaque. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. BF Homes. BF is legendary. It's the biggest subdivision in Asia, or at least it was for a long time. It's a city within a city. If you live in BF, you have your favorite coffee shop, your barber, your gym, all inside the gates. Look, Here is the math that should make you pause. BF Homes spans roughly 765 hectares. To put that in perspective, that's bigger than some small municipalities. It has over 80 entry and exit points. Read that again. 80. Now, if you're a parent, your first thought is probably, how do you secure 80 gates? The answer is, you don't. Not perfectly. BF Homes operates on a permeable security model. Because it houses so many commercial establishments, the gates have to be open to the public during the day. Yes, they have the RFID system. Yes, they have the stickers. But let's be real. How many times have you followed a car through a gate or seen a guard just wave through a delivery rider because the line was getting too long? This is where it gets really interesting. In BF, you aren't just paying for security. You're paying for traffic management. Most of the security work in BF is actually just trying to keep the 20,000 plus cars that pass through daily from causing a gridlock. Now, you might be thinking,
but Remy, I'll just live in one of the inner enclaves like BF Northwest or BF Thai.
And you're right, that's a smart move. But now you're paying double dues. You're paying the main BF Federation dues, and then you're paying your specific enclave dues. You are essentially building a gate inside a gate. Let's look at the numbers. If your house is 300 square meters and your enclave dues are 15 pesos per square meter, plus the BF Federation costs, you're looking at a significant monthly security tax just to compensate for the fact that the main gates are porous. The castle model. Tahanan Village. Now, let's pivot to Tahanan Village. If BF Homes is a sprawling city, Tahanan is a private vault. Tahanan is roughly 40 to 50 hectares. It's compact. It's manageable. But most importantly, it has only one primary entry and exit point for residents and guests, and a highly controlled service gate. Here's why this matters for your kids. In Tahanan, the guards know the cars. They know the faces. It's a closed-loop system. When a stranger enters Tahanan, they are noticed. In BF, a stranger is just another customer going to a ramen shop on Aguirre Avenue. The math of response time. Let's say there's an emergency. A suspicious person is spotted in your backyard. In Tahanan, the roving patrol has a total perimeter of less than 3 kilometers to cover. They can reach any house in under 3 minutes. In BF Homes, depending on where you are, a roving guard might be 2 kilometers away, stuck behind a school bus or a delivery truck. The perimeter truth, the forensic part. I want to talk about something no real estate agent will ever tell you. The perimeter wall. When we talk about security for kids, we aren't worried about the front gate. We're worried about the back door entry. Here's what most people don't realize. Many parts of BF Homes border outside communities, where the walls are shared with high-density residential areas or commercial strips. Over 30 years, some of these walls have been modified, built upon, or weakened. In Tahanan, because the village is smaller and the association is notoriously strict, and I mean strict, the perimeter integrity is a top-tier budget item. They don't just paint the walls, they reinforce them. This is called environmental design. Tahanan was designed to be a cul-de-sac community. BF Homes was designed to be a residential hub. You cannot retroactively turn a hub into a vault without spending hundreds of millions of pesos. Now, you might be thinking,
but Remy, BF Homes has the better lifestyle. My kids can walk to the park, we can bike to get ice cream, and everything is right there.
Look, I hear you. I'm not saying BF is a bad place to live. It's a fantastic place to live. But we are talking specifically about security for kids. Is it safe for your 10-year-old to bike to Aguirre Avenue alone? In 1995, maybe. In 2026? With the volume of grab riders and outside traffic? I'd argue it's a calculated risk. In Tahanan, your kids can bike the entire circumference of the village, and the only traffic they'll encounter are their neighbors. This is where the math gets really interesting. Let's look at the land value versus safety premium. BF Homes, 50,000 pesos to 70,000 pesos per square meter, depending on the enclave. Tahanan Village, 70,000 pesos to 90,000 pesos per square meter. You are paying a roughly 20 to 25% premium for Tahanan. Is that 25% worth it? If you have young children, that 25% isn't just land value. That's an insurance policy. Here is something that frustrates me. I see parents buying in massive subdivisions because they want freedom and space. But then they end up spending 30,000 pesos a month on private security guards for their own house. Think about that math. If you're paying 30,000 pesos a month for a private guard because you don't trust the village security, that's 360,000 pesos a year. Over 10 years, that's 3.6 million pesos. If you had just bought in a more secure, compact village like Tahanan, you wouldn't need that private guard. That 3.6 million pesos could have gone into your kid's college fund or a solar upgrade for your roof. Stop paying for security twice. It's a massive financial leak that most investors ignore. Before you sign that reservation agreement or deed of sale, I want you to do 3 things. Try to order a pizza to a random address in the village you're eyeing. Observe the guard. Does he call the homeowner? Does he check the ID? Or does he just see the thermal bag and wave him through? If he waves him through, your gate is a suggestion, not a barrier. Don't just look at the house. Walk the perimeter wall of the village nearest to the property. Is there a dead zone where the wall is low? Is there lighting? If the association isn't maintaining the edges, they aren't maintaining the security. Ask for the last 3 months of board meeting minutes from the Homeowners Association, HOA. Look for the security report. Are there recurring reports of, quote, petty theft? Are there complaints about the guard agency? This is the forensic data that matters. So, Tahanan or BF? If you want a vibrant, bustling lifestyle where your home is an investment in convenience, BF Homes is king. But you have to be vigilant. You have to be okay with the fact that your neighborhood is also a public thoroughfare. But if your primary KPI, your key performance indicator, for this home purchase is the uninterrupted safety of your children while they play outside, Tahanan Village wins on the math every single time. It's smaller, it's stricter, it's more expensive per square meter. But you can't put a price on the 10 seconds of panic you don't feel when you can't see your kid for a moment. Real estate isn't about the tiles or the kitchen island. It's about building a fortress for the people you love. Don't let a fancy guardhouse fool you. Look at the perimeter. Look at the traffic. Look at the math. If you found this breakdown helpful and you want me to do a forensic analysis on other villages in the South, maybe Ayala Alabang versus Alabang Hills, let me know in the comments. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next video, where I show you how to go from just 1 house to 3 rentals. In our topic, from 1 house to 3 rentals, the Micro-Subdivision Playbook, legit and profitable. How to maximize your lot for up to 3 times ROI. The real estate market in the South is moving fast, and you don't want to be the one holding the bag when the bubble of security theater finally pops. My name is Remy, and I'm here to make sure you're making your investments give you peace of mind. Invest with your head, not just your heart. And I'll see you in the South. Go to our channel for full-length educational and data-driven videos on Southern Metro Manila real estate. Visit our website for a list of various curated properties in the South. Email us if you would like to buy, sell, or lease properties. Till then, we'll see you in the South.